Yes, they have to meet the city requirements, so I believe that's a $500,000 liability insurance premium with the city specifically listed as being covered.
That protects them as well as the users, right?
Yes, sir, to my understanding.
Mr. McMahon?
I didn't see it. They're going to operate, is the window shorter for them being there? Or is it when the pool opens and the pool closes? I didn't see that.
It's for when the pool opens and when it closes, so they will start the day we open the pool, which I believe is May 25th. Don't quote me on that. It's very close to that, all the way through August 10th. They typically open between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And then close an hour before the facility closes. That way they can get everything cleaned up and get out a reasonable time.
Stuff like that. And they've assured you they can staff this for the most part.
Yes, I feel pretty confident based on their references that they're going to provide a quality service. When I reached out to the city of Leavenworth, one problem they had is that this company sold so many snow cones that when it got spilt on their bleachers, they had to take a day and a half to power wash their bleachers.
Oh, no.
So, not a
That's
bad
a
problem to have.
testimony. Yeah. I can, and I won't reflect, but I could just I remember when that pool wasn't there and the old pool was still there, swimming in it. So Bonner has came a long ways. Thanks for all you guys do. Yeah.
Ms. Woods?
Yes, this is going to make it so much neater, and yeah.
Is it strictly a shave ice concession stand, or will they have other things to offer also?
They will have other things, hot dogs, chips, assorted candy. They're currently working with a pizza vendor to see if they can offer pizza. It won't be anything that you'd get at a restaurant, like nachos, hamburgers, anything like that.
Okay.
But they'll have some warm options and some non-warm options.
Excellent. I'm going to ask the same exact question for Lions Park. Will they have the same facility and options there
We
as well?
haven't hit lines
Yes.
yet. It's next up.
Thank you.
Don't you jumping ahead.
No questions.
One park at a time.
Just real quickly, that was one of the things I was going to ask, what Ms. Gurley asked about, if it was going to be a little bit fuller menu, a little more robust. Did you get feedback about the vending machines? Did people comment at all negatively, or did just the fact that nobody was buying from them?
So when they first came, people were very amused by them. We had a couple issues with change being dispensed. I'm not sure about the council, but a lot of the younger members of our society don't use cash, so we had to explain quarters, nickels, dimes. If you paid with a debit card, it put a $15 hold on your account until it settled at the end of the day, and that took a little learning curve to get around. Towards the end, people just kind of were tired of it. So with a concession stand, one thing that they're able to do is they're able to switch out some candy bars here and there, or let's say that their hot dogs aren't selling, they'll switch to a different type of hot dog. And our vendor with the vending machines just did not make that change.
Gotcha. Any other questions, comments from council? Seeing none, I would go ahead and have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Voting on a motion to authorize the city manager to sign a contract with Jarvis Shave Ice for the operations of the Bonner Springs Aquatic Park concession stand for the 2025 season. Gurley?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to item number 5, award the bid for Lions Park concession operations.
Hello, Mayor and Council. I don't know if you know me. I'm Nathan Brungart with the Recreation Department. Tonight, I'm asking you to approve a contract with Jarvis Concessions for the operation of the Lions Park concession stand. I believe this is for $500. Once again, we had 2 professional bids for this, one from Jarvis, one from Reynolds Snack Shack. Both of them are very reputable businesses, and this did come down to a 1-point difference on our scoring sheet, which I believe is included on that packet. Once again, they run concessions in surrounding communities, very positive feedback. Both of these contracts, both of these contracts at the end of this year do have an option to be renewed 2 more times before it has to go back out to bid.
Okay.
I'll entertain questions.
Anything else from staff? Anyone from the public wish to speak on this? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the city manager to sign a contract with Jarvis Shave Ice for the operations of Lions Park concession stand for the 2025 season.
Second.
So we have a motion by by Ms. Blanks and a second by Mr. Reeves, and we're going to change up a little bit. We'll go ahead and start with you, Ms. Gurley, since you were really interested in Lions Park.
You already answered my question. I have no further questions. Thank you.
I will say at Lions Park, they will have a slightly less robust offering just because it will be a smaller clientele. But they'll still have popcorn, hot dogs, pretzels.
Thank you.
And we'll continue that way with Mr. Kipp.
No questions.
And then let's go ahead and back this way up. Ms. Woods,
No questions.
Mr. McMahon.
I do have a question, and that's great that what you guys are doing and having somebody to fill the concession stands. I don't know if it's, who, having umpired and coached at Lions Park for many, many years, sometimes the concession stand, it's like they kind of pick and choose when they want to close. Is there, this has nothing to do with, maybe it does, it has a lot to do with you guys, but is that something you guys regulate or, stay until the game's over, right? I don't, how's that work? I'm sorry.
So we do not have any teeth in this contract saying that you have to be open from X time to X time. We ask that they are open for 80% of all games.
Okay,
2 years ago, we didn't have a concessions at all. We didn't have any interested party to operate it.
yeah,
And that was kind of our compromise.
right.
I will 100% follow up with Sean to ask him if
So
we can make sure we're
80% is a
open.
minimum.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thanks, Nick.
Ms. Blanks,
No questions. Thanks, Nathan.
Ms. Long,
Questions, thank you.
Mr. Reeves.
Thank you for Mark's questions there, but I was thinking about evening games. I guess we still have a good number of those, correct? Yeah.
Correct. Last year during our season, I think we had 23 or 24 youth baseball games, baseball and softball, and that's not including kickball. That's taken off.
Okay, just appreciate if they could be open for a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we did not have in our packet the guide that you used, the scoring guide. So what was probably, since this ones were actually going to be $100 less that we'll be receiving, what was the bigger item that really scored them higher than?
The rent amount that is paid is a couple points that makes a big difference for everyone. One thing that our staff takes a hard look at is the price. We want to make sure that all of the goods are affordable for the patrons coming to the pool.
Gotcha, okay. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I'd have the clerk call the vote.
Voting on a motion to authorize the city manager to sign a contract with Jarvis Shave Ice for the operations of the Lions Park concession stand for the 2025 season. Wood,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Gurley,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Kipp,
Yes.
Blanks,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brungard. On to item number 6, management interim position approval. Staff?
Amber Vogan, City Manager. I have this before you tonight to request that we reopen the management intern position. This would be for a graduate candidate that is going to school for public administration. We had this position open in 2022, but the pool of candidates was rather small. It usually is quite a small pool of candidates. And those candidates at the time chose positions, intern positions at other entities. This year, the University of Kansas, their School of Public Affairs and Administration reached out to us because they have a larger pool and need additional host cities to work with their interns. And since we had this that we were hoping to bring on a couple of years ago, I thought it would be a nice opportunity for us to partner with a school and bring someone on that can learn public administration with us. And they would be stationed in each department for a period of time, take on projects with each of them so that they can get knowledge within all of the departments. And there's a protocol that we have to follow with University of Kansas and everything over the types of topics that they're covered in their internship program as well.
Is there anybody from the residents wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the temporary management intern position at a grade 6 on the seasonal pay scale.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Gurley, and we'll go ahead and go with the second by Ms. Long. Sorry, Ms. Wood. I flipped a coin. She won. And we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Reeves.
Nothing here. Sounds good.
Ms. Long,
No questions.
Ms. Blanks,
No questions.
Mr. McMahon,
None.
Ms. Woods.
No questions.
Nothing.
I'm glad you have some type of protocol, because those internships can be really powerful and they can be really bad if they're not handled correctly. So I'm glad you guys are reviving that, and good luck.
No questions.
I will just say too, I'm also glad that it is a paid position. I've seen too many kids who need intern positions for their degrees, and they have to go to a company where it's done for free, and I think they should be at least paid. So unless there's any other comments, questions, I would go ahead and have the clerk record the vote.
Voting on motion to approve the temporary management intern position at a grade 6 on the seasonal pay scale. Wood,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Kip,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Gurley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Fogan, for that information. Also, then on to item number 7, executive session for non-elected personnel. I would go ahead and accept a motion. And how long do you believe that we'll need?
30 minutes.
Okay, right down there, 30 minutes, so.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss non-elected personnel matters pursuant to exception KSA 75-4319B1. The open meeting will resume in the city council chambers at 9 p.m. Or 9:30 p.m., excuse me.
That was going to be a really short meeting, so, yes. Do we have a second on that? Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Blanks, a second by Ms. Gurley. Just a quick voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Being the chair, the ayes have it. We will be back for all those who wish to entertain themselves, and we'll be back in about 30 minutes.
I don't have much to say. I know that's a change of pace.
You just had to sit down there and be quiet.
It was hard.
Really took a lot of discussion.
It was hard. It was really hard.
I've been there before. Nothing this big. 5-minute break if we're ready. Okay, who would like to make that motion to return?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we come out of executive session at 9:30.
Second.
With
No action taken.
no action taken?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Reeves, a second by Ms. Blanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, on to reports. City manager's report would be up first.
Amber Fogan, City Manager. These were both in the written update in the packet, but I wanted to kind of highlight them. For Sculpture on the Move, that is the program that gets us new sculptures in the city every other year. We'll have a new one at Kelly Murphy Park, so the Lander one that lights up at Kelly Murphy Park, that one will be going away this. Am I still? There we go. And a new one will be coming in. And then on Oak Street, we'll be installing a new sculpture, and that one will be oak leaves. The one in Kelly Murphy Park will be, it's called the Fungus of Oneness, and it's 3 mushrooms that are in there. And pictures are in the packet. And then I wanted to note that Lake of the Forest is officially on Bonner Springs water. So we
But
are,
there's a couple people down there on that end happy.
it's been going well. Knock on wood.
Okay, on to council items. We'll go ahead and start here with you, Mr. McMahon.
Oh, boy. Well, one is I want a shout out. I called Chris Brake today because one of my employees called me and said, hey, there's all kinds of water at Cypress and Nettleton coming out of the ground or something like that. So I called Chris, we chat, and next thing I know, they got the road blocked off. So kudos, Matt, for your team getting out there, whoever got out there and stuff. So it's good. Saves some water, right? Time saves money and everything. I'm excited that they're moving dirt where Quick Trip is going to be. And it's like it's all happening at once, right? And then they're moving dirt across from Colby's. So that's a good thing. That's about it, I think. Other than that, I'm just glad to be here.
All right. Yeah. Ms. Woods?
Nothing.
Ms. Gurley?
I was also going to ask about that water main break. That seems to be a fairly common area. Is that going to require some infrastructure work?
Something's causing it, right?
Yeah, pipes go boom.
No, I mean, it's repetitive. So what, do they know what's causing that to happen, Mr. Matt?
I'm sorry, Matt, can you come up to the microphone? Won't get recorded otherwise.
Yeah, we need you on the recording.
Second council meeting.
We argue about this because I can hear myself, so I start backing away. Around town, there are areas that we call it hot soil, where the ground just is real acidic and or something in it, and it's eaten a lot of our ductile iron pipe. Another one we have a problem with is in the Keenan Center area. That area there's probably more Band-Aids on there than pipe at this point. So, but yeah, for some reason that section at the top part of Nettleton there between Metro and Cypress.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of breaks down through there over the recent years. So, yeah, at some point we'll have to probably look at doing something in there.
Yeah. While you're there, I'm curious, who pays at the light if you're turning to get up on 7 Highway to go south? To make that turn, there's like a sign. I forget what it's like, a reflector sign. And about every other week, somebody has ran that thing over and is sitting on the ground. Am I the only one that notices that?
Nope, that was on social media last week.
I'm just wondering, is that the county, the state?
Where?
I don't know if NAF gets
Wagner's.
reports like, oh, my car's damaged because I keep running. It's a semi that does it.
32 east exiting onto 7 south.
They ought to make that thing out of steel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's why it's wood,
And
so
it
it
just
breaks
impel
away.
that semi, so that way you can catch the guy that does it next. I'm just kidding. I erase that from the report, but anyway. Sorry, Matt.
You're right.
That's,
Are you done?
yeah, I just feel like
Back to you, Ms.
bantering.
Gurley.
Matt, while you're there, just wanted to give you a quick note that someone took out the crosswalk sign at 32 and 138 in a big way. It's mangled and bent and laying in the ditch. Happened, I noticed it yesterday
Okay, I'll make a
on the
note.
westbound lane.
Morning.
And since we now have hired, I'm done with you, thank you. Since we've now hired a city manager, have we listed the assistant city manager position?
I think that actually got posted today.
Excellent.
And then the systems administrator IT position has been listed, and we've had a really good response on that. We've had,
Is that on the city website, or are those out?
both of them are on the city website, under employment, and they get, our system automatically posts it to some of the job search engines as well. So that helps increase our applicant pool.
Excellent. That's exciting. Thank you.
Mr. Kipp?
Does that mean Chris won't have to take care of my iPad anymore when I come in without the IT? 'Cause that's actually a shout out to
IT will
her.
take out some good ones, yeah.
Thank you, Chris, for taking care of me and helping me with all my ridiculous requests. Other than that, welcome Amber. I wasn't here last time. Congratulations. Very happy for you.
Same, wasn't here. Congratulate. Nothing.
That's it. Ms. Blanks?
I also third that. Congratulations, Amber. We are very happy to have you. I wasn't here that day because it was my grandpa's funeral, and I just want to thank all of council who reached out. And the city sent a really pretty plant that I had to fight my mom for. And I just appreciate that, and the cards that I received, and I know Mr. Mayor and Councilman McMahon did attend the services, so I really appreciated that. The week before was our banquet, which was a huge success. I've received a lot of feedback from chamber members and community members that were there of how much they enjoyed seeing the city of Bonner Springs and the city of Edwardsville there present, talking with everybody, just enjoying and being out in front of everybody. So thank you to the city's support on that. And then, speaking of projects, and I could totally be making this up in my head, do we have a sidewalk project planned for Second Street? When does that start? I know they've been like doing other I guess preliminary work over there. And then it'll connect from the school to up by Old Mill, right?
Yeah, that project will start here probably around the 1st of April.
Oh, okay, great.
It's two different sidewalks, so it's that one there from the elementary school up to about Old Mill.
Okay,
And then the second one is over on West Morris from Bluegrass down to Garfield.
okay.
So,
I'm super excited for both of those projects, especially with all the kids.
yeah, the project going on down there now is the water line that's going in.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and they're out of the way at this point pretty much, so
Okay,
it should
cool.
be starting pretty soon.
That's exciting. Thanks, Matt. I know there's a lot going on right now.
Yep.
Can I tag on to that? Which side of the road will the Morse section be?
South side, Riverside.
You know, the south
Along
side
the
of their
woods.
City-owned property.
Are we going to put a crosswalk in there since part of that sidewalk's on the north side?
No, it'll go all the way down to Garfield, and it'll tie into, at Garfield, we have sidewalk on that part
It's going
side.
to go all the way to Garfield?
Yeah.
Gorgeous, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. And that's all I have.
Okay, Ms. Long?
I don't have any items this week, thank you.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes, a couple items I mentioned to Nathan. In Lyons Park, the creek there's awfully close to the, close to the walking area there, and he knows about it, so I guess you've got that on your,
Just stay up here. You're the only one left.
don't sit in the back row.
Taken after NAF. Yes, we have money in our budget this year to do a stabilization down there along that end of the park, down by the basketball court and around that corner. So that's in our budget this year, and we're talking with the city engineer now about what we need to do to get that project going.
I was looking at it the other day, and it's undercut. It may be underneath the walking area, really,
I hope not. Okay.
because it
We can
looks
take a
like
look
it's
at it.
undercut in the part of it that I can see, yeah. Anyway, the other one is, this is not a city one, but I want to let somebody know, maybe they can get in contact with the State Department of Transportation and to do something, because I've had a couple complaints about when you come off of I-70 and to get on the 7 Highway North, there's no good ramp, there's no ramp space as you turn north there onto 7 Highway. Is there any way that we could suggest that they put in an entrance ramp there and widen that out up toward Quick Trip?
Yeah, you're coming from, on westbound I-70, you get
Yeah,
off, go to
westbound
K-7
I-70.
north.
Oh,
North
There's no acceleration. lane.
there's not, and that golf course and the Riverview entrance there is part of the problem, where that there's just not enough land going around that corner. And yeah, you're right, it's a real short acceleration lane. KDOT's aware of it. We brought it up to him many times. He can probably tell you how many accidents we have out there, but majority of the time it's rear end. Someone runs into the back of another one.
Yeah, I've had some close calls going through. If you got a green light, you're going through there, and then somebody's coming off, and they just kind of crowd in, and so you got to clamp on the binders to keep from getting them.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, happy to be here.
You can stay there if you want. Actually, I'm going to mention you in a few things, but it does not, it's nothing you have to answer to, so. To speak on, also upon the signs that you mentioned about the one at 138th there in Comp, getting flattened. Kind of referencing in the city manager's report that you had been out, that the public works crew had been out and fixing a lot of the signs that had gotten damaged. Is KDOT addressing their signs? Because I know there's several signs, not only the one that was mentioned earlier, but I know the 55 mile an hour sign, reduction sign that's going north on K7 just before Kerry Roberts Park entrance there, that has been flattened for about 3 weeks now. It got taken out. So it's laying on the ground off and down that ditch. So I didn't know if KDOT's going to get that addressed at some point. That's kind of an important one. Yeah, I figured it was a KDOT. I knew it wasn't city, but I just was curious if KDOT was going to address some of their sign issues. And then, I don't know if everybody follows social media. I guess it was a Friday night, I believe it was, Saturday evening, there was a Friday night, I believe it was, there was a house fire up in the northwestern portion of town. And was a wonderful post by Deputy Chief Jennings in regards to how well it was one of those instances where we had the auto dispatch agreement paid for it and did what it was supposed to do. It was a fire that needed, and by the time they realized they needed a second alarm, the vehicles were already there, fire trucks were already there. But they did I did reach out to him, and he said there was one little issue with a connection on a fire hydrant. Now, he reached out and said he was very complimentary of Public Works and the staff, and the problem was not the fire hydrant. The problem is the connections, and not every fire department uses a similar type of connection. There's not a universal for getting onto those fire hydrants. And I didn't know if that's something that we need to reach out to the UG and to Edwardsville to see, is that going to be a potential issue down the road, or is that something that there's a way to address it through the 3 departments? Because I would hate to have our unit run on a fire somewhere in KCK or in Edwardsville and find out we can't hook to their fire hydrants. So I just wanted to bring that up. I see that as a potential fail point at some point in time. So, yeah, and Deputy Jennings, we had a text conversation back and forth, and he was explaining how that some departments, like out in Shawnee, Lenexa, they actually will do their operations for their connection points different to help prevent people from hooking up to them. So we need just to make sure that we don't have a fire engine shows up on a fire and find we can't hook up to a fire hydrant. With that, I've got nothing else. Anybody else have anything else? If not, I would accept a motion to adjourn city council meeting at, let's say, 9:30?
9:45.
Mr. Mayor,
It's the light.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn meeting at 9:30.
Would you like to correct that motion?
9:45, okay.
Second?
We have a motion by Mr. Reeves, a second by Ms. Gurley. Anybody, or all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Agreed.